In this video, we're going to look at how to insert the slide layers that go along with this lightbox slide. Step 4, let's break it down. So we've already created the main screen elements here. So we have the buttons that will trigger the motion of the balls. We have these text boxes, we have the avatar, we have the speech bubble with the instructional text. So now what we have to do is create these slide layers that are going to actually show the arc motion paths of these juggling balls. So let's first start by inserting slide layers. Now we're going to need 6 different slide layers because there's 2 sets of this sequence that we're showing here. So we're showing one set where we have the yellow ball, green ball, and blue ball going in sequence. And then the next set is going in the opposite direction. So yellow ball is going to go reverse direction, then the green ball, and then the blue ball. So I'm going to go up here to insert slide layer, and I'm going to insert 6 of these. Now if you go down to the right hand side here, you can see the 6 slide layers that I inserted. Now let's rename these first. So the first one, we're going to call it ball 1 first set, and then we'll have ball 2 first set, ball 3 first set, and then ball 1 second set, ball 2 second set, and ball 3 second set. So let's do that now. All right, so there are slide layers there. So we have ball 1 first set, ball 2 first set, ball 3 first set, ball 1 second set, ball 2 second set, and ball 3 second set. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the main screen for this lightbox slide, and we're going to copy in each of these juggling balls, so the yellow, the green, and the blue, to go on each of these slide layers. So we're going to have ball 1 first set is going to be the yellow ball, then the green one, then the blue one, then the yellow, then the green, then the blue. So we're just going to copy them over one at a time. So let's do that now. So again, it's always good to use your course as a resource so you don't have to create everything from scratch every time. So this is why I'm copying these in, because they have the arc motion paths already on them from previous slides. So we can see that if we go up to animations here. So we're going to be able to use these to then show these arc motion paths with these slide layers. So let's now go make triggers for each of these, for each of the slide layers. So let's go to ball 1 first set here, and that's for the yellow ball. And we want the yellow ball to go over to her other hand. So I'm just going to tweak this a little bit because these were set when the juggling balls were smaller. So we need to kind of extend this a little bit. So I'm just going to extend that over here. And then these ones as well. And then I'm just going to move it up so that they're a little higher. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to go over here to insert a trigger. So I want to move this ball here. So we go down here, you can see the different areas. So these are objects that are on the main screen. But down here, objects on ball 1 first set. So we want to choose oval 1 because we only have one ball and it just labeled it oval 1. On which arc motion path? Well, there's 3 associated here that we copied in from before. We want the first one because the first one is the one that will be going from her right hand to her left hand, so this direction on screen. And that's because we built them that way from the beginning. So I choose that one. Now, if you're not 100% sure, just try it and you can always preview it. And if it's the wrong one, then you can change it to the other one if you labeled it differently. And we want this to happen when the timeline starts. And the reason for this is because we're going to have them click on these actual buttons here to trigger it. So we want it to always be active. And then the object is going to be oval 1 again. And then click OK. So that's our first trigger. We're going to do the same thing for ball 2 first set and ball 3 first set. So it's pretty much going to look the same on each one. So I'm going to go here and I'm again going to adjust this, adjust the arc motion paths. All right, so that's done. And then I'm going to insert a trigger here. So we're going to, again, move. And we go down to objects on ball 2 first set. It's just oval 1 again. And which arc motion path? We'll choose the first one because that will be the one that's going this way. So from her left hand to her right hand. And we want this to happen when the timeline starts. And the object again is oval 1. And now ball 3 first set. So I'm just going to adjust this first. And we can always tweak this after if it doesn't look quite right. So just try your best. And now we're going to insert a trigger, the same one again. Move, oval 1, along arc motion path 1 when the timeline starts. And the object is oval 1. Okay, so now let's create the triggers for the second set of the juggling sequence. So go here to ball 1, second set. Now it's going to almost be the same, but there is going to be one more trigger because we need to hide these previous layers when the second set of layers is triggered. Otherwise, you'll be seeing all of them. So we will add another trigger there to hide certain layers. So let's first adjust the placement here. Okay, and now we'll insert a trigger to move. So we're on ball 1, second set, oval 1, along the second arc motion path, because this should be the one that goes in the opposite direction, because we've already set these on previous slides. When the timeline starts, and the object again is oval 1. Okay, and then we want to insert another trigger to hide. We want to hide a layer, so we want to hide ball 1 first set because we're on ball 1 second set. We want to hide the first set when the timeline starts and the object is oval 1. And now let's go to ball 2 second set, and we're going to pretty much do the same thing. So let's adjust the placement here. All right, and now we're going to insert a trigger to move the ball. So we want to move oval 1 on ball 2 second set along arc motion path 2, the opposite direction, when the timeline starts and the object is oval 1. and then insert a trigger to hide the corresponding layer. So ball 2 first set when the timeline starts, and the object is oval 1. Okay, now the last one here, ball 3 second set. Let's just adjust the placement. Okay, and now we're going to insert a trigger. So move oval 1 along arc motion path 2 when the timeline starts and the object is oval 1. And now insert a trigger to hide layer. We want ball 3 first set. We want to hide that when the timeline starts and the object is oval 1. Okay. Now before we can preview this, we have to make sure that these slide layers are going to show up from the main screen for this lightbox slide. So let's go back to the main screen here, and we need to insert triggers to show these layers when these buttons here are clicked. So these ball 1, ball 2, ball 3 buttons. And that's what we had talked about in the previous 2 videos, where we discussed how when you click on one of these buttons the first time, these static balls here on the main screen will disappear because we're going to then show the slide layer, the corresponding slide layer. Okay, so let's go up here to insert a trigger for each of these buttons. So this would be button 1, 2, and 3, and then 4, 5, and 6 are the hidden ones that are below these ones. We've overlapped them here on the screen. So let's go to button 1. We're going to insert a trigger to show. So show layer, ball 1 first set, when the user clicks button 1. Okay, next one will be for this one. You don't need to click on it, but I'll just show you. It'll jump to where we want it to be over here on the right hand side. So insert trigger to show layer, ball 2 first set, when the user clicks button 2. Now insert a trigger, show layer, ball 3 first set, when the user clicks button 3. And then insert a trigger to show layer, ball 1 second set, when the user clicks button 4. So these are the 3 that are hidden right now. So button 4, 5, and 6. And then insert a trigger to show layer. So we did ball 1 second set, now we're on ball 2 second set. When the user clicks button 5, and then insert your last trigger, show layer, ball 3 second set, when the user clicks button 6. Okay. Okay, so now we need to adjust the properties for each of these slide layers. So go here to ball 1 first set, right click, go to properties, and you'll see that it's always defaulted to hide other slide layers. We don't want this to happen for these because we are showing a juggling sequence here. So we want to make sure that we're not hiding layers that we need to show up at the same time. Because if we hide the other slide layers, we may not show some of the juggling sequence that's going on. Okay, so let's do that for each of the slide layers. Right click, go to properties, uncheck the default, hide other slide layers. All right, so we've done that. Now let's just make sure in the timeline that each of these slide layers is showing the ball out to 60 seconds and that it's going to show for always. So I'm going to go down here and just zoom out a bit. Okay, there we go. So ball 1 first set goes to about 60, and let's just double check. Yes, it's showing always. And this one, yep. All right, so I think we're good with all those. So now let's go preview this lightbox slide. So just this slide. Okay, so I'm going to click on ball 1 here. There we go. And then ball 2. And then ball 3. And now we're going to repeat in the opposite direction. Ball 1, ball 2, ball 3, and then retry. So there we go. So we just need to later come back and add the animations to this just to clean it up a little bit and polish it. So one more thing we're going to have to do, because right now we have the lightbox slide, but it's still all by itself over here. As you can see in the story view, we need to link that to step 4. So go down here to step 4. We're going to have to set a trigger for this button here. Let's break it down. So let's insert a trigger for this button. So this is going to be a new type of trigger. It's going to be a lightbox slide. So you go down here to lightbox slide, and then you choose the one you want. So we want step 4, let's break it down. When the user clicks button 6. Okay. And I didn't check this here for navigation controls because we don't want that on the lightbox slide. All right, so let's now preview from this slide and see if everything works. So instead of just previewing this slide though, I'm going to preview the whole thing, otherwise it won't be able to show that lightbox. So let's go here to step 4. And we're going to click on this button. And there we go. We got our lightbox slide right here that comes up. And you can see there's an X here. So when you're done, you just close it. There we go. Now we retry that. All right, so I think this side is pretty much done. Now we will be coming back to polish and add some animations to these and make sure these buttons are showing properly with the color change and everything. So we'll be back to this slide in a little bit.